Steve Stine from GuitarZoom here, and I want to show you something super cool that you can do with traditional chords that you probably already know how to play. One of the biggest things I see a lot, and I encounter myself, is that we tend to play the same chord shapes over and over and over. So if you learn G, you play it there, or you play D, you play it there, or a bar chord or something like that. And what I want to do is I want to spice that up for you and get you thinking outside the traditional chord box, if you will. And so what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to look at what I refer to as a chord fragment. Now, we're not coming from a theory place, so you don't need to worry about theory or anything like that. It's going to be all visual, and you're going to be using your ears to decide what it is that you like about the sounds of these. So let me show you what I mean. If we were to take a traditional A minor chord, and what I'm going to do is turn that into a 6-string bar chord. Okay? Now, instead of playing this full bar chord, which sounds great, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of reinterpret this chord by taking a little bit out of it and doing something different with it. So it doesn't sound so big and blocky like a bar chord does. I'm not looking for that sound. I want something that sounds a little less traditional and maybe a little more ethereal, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this chord. I'm going to play the bottom 4 strings of this chord. So I'm going to play 5, 5, 5, and 7. Okay. Now, the first thing you'll notice is it sounds very, very small or thin compared to the big bar chord. Okay. Sort of another brick in the wall, if you will. But what's nice about that a lot of times is instead of having the big chords, these things kind of cut through the mix, and they're kind of fun to do. So let's just take a chord progression here. We're going to do A minor, G major, F major, and then just back to plain old A minor. I'm just going to go to an open chord at the end. So we've got our bar chord of G major, bar chord of F major, and then back to the A minor. So here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to take just the bottom 4 strings of each one of those chord shapes. So I'm playing 5, 5, 5, 7. And then for the G chord, I would need 3, 3, 4, 5. And then for the F chord, I would need 1, 1, 2, 3. And then just my plain A minor will be fine. So the first thing we're going to do to try and spice up this chord is not just taking the bottom half of each chord, it's going to be adding a bass note. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 5th string here, which is A, and we're going to play that same bass note over all of these chord changes. So here's A minor with A in the bass. And here's A minor with G, or excuse me, G with A in the bass. And F with A in the bass. And then back to the A minor. Now let me give it a little strum so you can hear what this sounds like, and then you can explore it as well. Okay, now let's move on to the next step, which is sort of the final transformation for us right now, of how to turn this chord into something a little more interesting, a little more fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the first 2 strings here. I'm not going to press on those at all. I'm just going to press on the 5th fret of the 3rd string and the 7th fret of the 4th string. And now I'm going to leave those other 2 down here, the 1st and 2nd strings, open. So now I get this nice kind of open, spacey A minor sound. Now again, remember, we're not looking for theory right now. We're not trying to go back to a book and define this chord. We're trying to use our eyes and our ears to decide whether or not we like the sound of it, and can we use this in our songwriting? Can we use this in our jamming, right? Can we use this in other songs that we know how to play? You know, a song might be asking for an A minor chord, whatever song it is you're learning how to play. But instead of just playing a traditional A minor, maybe you want to try something different, okay? So we're going 0, 7, 5, 0, 0. Then what I'm going to do is move down to the G chord, and I went 3, 3, 4, 5 before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that 1st string open. I'm going to play 3, 4, 5 though. And then I'm going to do the same thing over the F. Sounds pretty cool, huh? And then A minor. Okay, so now we've fragmented that chord. We've changed it. First, by making it smaller. We're not playing all the notes of the bar chord. Secondly, we added in this new bass note over each one. We're just using that static A over everything. And then the third thing we did was we actually made it even more spacey by removing fingers. and adding open strings. Of course, you don't need to use my strum. You can do whatever it is you'd like to do with this, any tempo you want. All right. So the last little icing on the cake that we're going to do here is we're going to take the pinky, which isn't being used in any of these chords right now, and we're going to try and add it somewhere to create a different kind of sound. Okay? Now again, all of these things have definitions. We are not worried about the definition. We're not going back to our theory right now. We're just looking for exploration. So I'm going to take this pinky now, and I'm going to put it somewhere. Now, I could try all kinds of different things, but just to save us time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. I've done this many times, and I like the sound of it, and I just want to share it with you. So I'm going... So you see, we're taking this chord fragment now and we're embellishing it by adding something else on that is pleasing to our ear. Then I'm going to move down to that G, and I'm going to go to the 5 on the 2nd string. Hear that? Then I'm going to move down to F and do the same thing on 3. Then A minor, and I'm going to add that same 3. So let's listen to it. Now again, there's a million other things you could do with this. Don't worry about the tablature. We're going to give you the tab for free anyway. All you have to do is click on the link and you can grab the tablature and learn all this stuff. And then we're even going to give you some jam tracks so you can try this out over a drum beat and see what you think of it. So the main thing here is for you is to be patient and explore. You know, don't just, whatever it is that I'm showing you right now, use that kind of as a template to get yourself started, but then do whatever you want from there. And don't just always feel like, well, I have to know what scale I'm playing over, I have to know what chord this is. Don't do that. If we always did that, half the most incredible songs that have ever been written on the planet would never exist, because not everything always makes sense. Sometimes a lot of it just has to do with how things sound. So please, you know, stay positive, be patient, and just spend some good quality time exploring things, and let me know how things go. You know, post a comment or whatever and let us know, you know, how this is working for you. I'd love to hear from you. So take care, practice hard, and I will speak to you soon.